Hey, how are you doing today? I'm Willie Bragg. I'm glad to see you here on the Willie Bragg Show, and hope each and every one of you are doing well. I want to talk about, this is going to be a fairly quick stream, believe it or not. I want to try to make it quick anyway. I can be long-winded. I've been told that I'll branch all over the place. There is a Senate race going on, a New York State Senate race going on in New York, in District 59 well, there's a declared candidate, the declared candidacy of Kristen Gonzalez. And Kristen Gonzalez, she is the candidate that's been endorsed. And it says District 17. I cannot find, and I think it must have been from another campaign. I cannot find. This is her, and it says District 17, but it's for District 59 for New York State Senate. So this is her. I just couldn't find the right graphics there. But she is running for the New York State Senate, and she's being endorsed by Democratic Socialists of America, Working Families Party, and she's running on a basic left-wing platform that's very dear to the hearts of those who are committed to working within the system to try to, if one must try to work within the Democratic Party to turn it into a Labor Party or a Social Democratic Party of some sort. Someone like Kristen Gonzalez would have that appeal. She's being endorsed by the Working Families Party and DSA, being endorsed by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and she's got the credentials, and I wish her well in that regard. Even though I am an independent voter myself, registered green down here in North Carolina. I look at that race and I'm like, this is kind of what you need in a candidate winning any of these offices. I wish we had such choices down here in North Carolina, but we don't. Anyway, the controversy is this. There is another declared candidate who has a similar ideology by the name of, and most of you know who she is already if you watch Majority Report, and that's Nomiki Konst. Nomiki Konst, the Majority Report. And the thing about Nomiki Konst is that she has similar ideology. Labor law reform, Medicare for all, free college, all the things that pretty much Kristen Gonzalez would be supporting. And so now, while I do confess that I have a personal dislike for Nomiki Konst, her politics is fine. If she was running unopposed or if there was a corporate Democrat that she was challenging, I would not have a problem with it. She basically declared her candidacy late to the game. They've already decided to run Kristen Gonzalez. So why the hell is she inserting herself into this race here? I guess she has all the intention, all the rights in the world to run. I mean, but I just think that she's kind of dividing the left when she's doing this. I mean, she's the kind of person that lectures others on the left about being divisive, but there she is doing the same thing. Now, as I said, on policy matters when it comes to bread and butter issues and, basic class reduction and shit like your pocketbook issues, your labor and Medicare for all and things of that nature. I mean, she's as good as they come. I mean, in that regard. I mean, she's what I would like in a candidate. What I don't like about her, and I make this open, I don't like her, but I would vote for her anyway if Kristen Gonzalez was not in the race, and if I lived in New York, I would still vote for her. Otherwise, what I don't like about her is that, and I don't know what Kristen Gonzalez's position is on censorship issues and all that, but I do know that Nomiki Konst is pro-censorship, pro-cancel culture. She favors restriction of freedom of speech. She wants whatever one thinks of Joe Rogan. And I got my issues with Joe Rogan. I have been very critical of Joe Rogan in the past, believe me, but never would I favor Joe Rogan or anybody else being canceled or having their programs taken off the air because I disagree with their politics. And she's that kind of person. Whatever one may thinks of Jimmy Dore, and I have more issues against Jimmy Dore now than I've had ever. And the thing about it is that I'm not fully against him, but he's been taking some positions lately that's not very positive either. And she's called for the algorithms on YouTube to fuck his algorithms up, which is a form of censorship. And and that comes close to home for me because algorithms is what keeps my channel shadow banned. Her channel doesn't get a lot of attention either because she's a victim of being shadow banned. She does a hell of a lot better than my channel, and I'm glad for her in that regard. But her channel does a hell of a lot better, but I mean, the only reason why her channel is doing a little bit better because the Majority Report picks her up and helps her out. I mean, that is the only reason. I mean, she would be she would be below 20,000, probably below 20,000 if they didn't know who the hell she was. She has her connections. Not knocking her down for her connections, but she's very elitist and everything. But on policy, I'm okay with her on the bread and butter issues. On that one, I would consider her an ally. So I don't want to make it sound like I am totally, wholeheartedly, 100% against her. So there is that. Well, here it is. It's logical, and it was the right decision for AOC to support Kristen Gonzalez. Absolutely a positive thing. It's her home. It's in her district. It's in her backyard. It's okay. Whatever I may think of AOC, and I was commenting on Harlan's Media earlier today on the discussion by Kikabella about AOC being fed up with things that basically she thinks everything is one big clusterfuck and everything is corrupt. She's correct. And I entered the year 2018, 2019, and in large part 2020, almost worshiping the ground that AOC walked on. After she rejected forced to vote, I ended up not 100% turning against her, but I ended up being very frustrated with AOC. I ended up making fun of AOC half the time, and just I was almost on the verge of just like washing my hands totally away from AOC. But I do confess that there's, just like Tulsi Gabbard, there's a spot in my heart when it comes to AOC, and you know, not that she's a victim, nor that Tulsi Gabbard is a victim, but there's a spot I have a little bit of empathy for both in a lot of ways, even though they both have taken paths that I didn't fully agree with. In fact, they have taken paths that I have been very, very opposed to this day. But they have both, to this day, still embrace positions that hold dear to my heart too, having that said. And it was right for AOC to support Kristen Gonzalez. But my question is, what the hell is Khanna of California, Congressman Khanna of California, doing endorsing somebody? I mean, is this right? But what the hell is he doing endorsing Nomiki Konst across the country? I mean, what business is there? I mean, we're talking about the U.S. House of Representatives. I mean, his backyard, it would be, maybe I could see him going in Nancy Pelosi's district and going over her to go and find some progressives to support in that district. But, you know, going into AOC's backyard, really? You're going to go into her territory and you know, undermine her own backyard? Really? Khanna, really? I mean, really? I mean, what the hell? What the fuck? So, I mean, as I said, I mean, I'm an independent voter that's fed up with Democrats. That's a general rule. But I understand two-party system exists. It's not going to go anywhere. Two parties is here to stay. Unfortunately, voting third party is what I believe in. I vote third party like basically 90% of the time. But I'm a realistic person, and if there's somebody that has DSA backing, and that candidate has DSA values, even in spite of what I may think of DSA these days, they're not perfect. I've been in and out of DSA since the 1990s. I don't even know if I'm still a member or not. I'm sure I'm still in their membership roll books. But the thing about it is that Kristen Gonzalez is the logical choice. They decided to back her. And I just think it's very divisive what she's doing. I'm talking about Nomiki Konst. That's a hell of a lot worse than basically, you know, somebody in 2000 voting for Ralph Nader just to own Al Gore. And I'm sure she's the kind of person that would feel that way. But you're going to go and get a corporate Democrat elected, or even worse, a Republican elected, because of your own damn pride, Nomiki? Is that what it's all about? I mean, good Lord. Anyway, I just wanted to go and get that out of my chest. We have a nice little chat line here. Yes, Hot Retarded Chicks, you like the music, huh? I think we have a lot musically in common. I have kind of noticed that. That music gets your attention. Yeah, I get a little worried that the music's a little bit long. I think I might put a little bit of a note that the music is around 4 minutes to let people know if they want to scroll it into 4 minutes later on for those. But I don't know. It's too damn cool. It just has a nice little beat to it. is copyright free, and it has that 1980s post-punk new wave feel. It's very close to my heart, being a 53-year-old fart that I am. So I was like, why not? Why not? So we have John Masters. You think it's on purpose? On purpose in the sense, with regard to Nomiki, it's on purpose in the sense that her pride. It's her pride. She's doing it because of her pride. She has an ego, and she wants to get elected to some kind of office. I notice she runs for all kinds of offices all the time up in New York. And as I said, as far as her ideology is concerned, she's fine. I just wish she'll be more pro-free speech. That's my issue with her. But you're not going to get a perfect candidate on every issue. And I realize that. Whether they're running as a Democrat or they're running as an independent, you're not going to find a perfect candidate. If I ran for office, I'm sure some of y'all out there will find something wrong with my current positions, or even maybe some cringy positions in the past I held, even though, they were for left-wing reasons. I've actually gone a little further left on some issues. In some areas, I'm kind of more, whatever. We all evolve over the time and everything. So that's why I'm the unique creature that I am. So if you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you disagree, comment anyway. We will have a conversation. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it, because we're, in fact, the muckrakers of our time. Hit that notification bell. Hit that subscribe button. And remember, there's no war like the class war. And when it comes to military interventionism abroad, we need to support our troops by sending them back home. And that means we need to oppose all war, because all war is a racket to support defense contractors and enable the military-industrial complex. We also need to defend free speech at all costs, because when we do, we defend our own damn free speech, and we need to defend freedom of the press, because remember, people like Julian Assange is a political prisoner, and when he's not free, none of us are free. Therefore, we're all Julian Assange. And until next time, goodbye. And I say music.